Welcome into the Cintas Center, everyone, for today's basketball matchup between your Xavier Musketeers and the Toledo Rockets. Well, due to some extenuating circumstances, I am Paul Fritschner. Mike Schmaltz is to my left, and we are happy to have you on the broadcast this afternoon. Getting the late call up, Mike, as Fox Sports has given us this game here, and we are just about set for tip between Toledo and Xavier. Zach Fremantle out to the jump circle. Toledo wins the tip, and we're underway right on the money at 12 o'clock. Marianne Jackson controls the tip-off for the Toledo Rockets. Their star guard, who this offense and this team really works their way through, attacking the basket early. This is a Toledo team that dismantled Oakland yesterday. Mike, you and I were on the broadcast for that one. Spencer Littleson, the highlight for the Toledo Rockets, had 8 threes in that game. We see him in the starting lineup already.
And we got some great matchups. You see Marianne Jackson, one of the best in the MAC, the second leading scorer last year with 19.8 points per game. He'll be outside battling with Paul Scruggs. And there's Littleson going inside this time to give Toledo the 2-point lead.
After 24 points yesterday for Littleson, 8 threes, all of his points coming from beyond the arc. He gets the scoring started here this afternoon. For Xavier, Jason Carter controls. Xavier narrowly escaped yesterday against the Bradley Braves. Took a late effort from freshman DeJuan Odom. Going to the hoop with less than 5 seconds left. An offensive foul will give the ball back to Toledo. Xavier's first offensive possession. Starting lineups for both teams: Paul Scruggs, Nate Johnson, DeJuan Odom, Jason Carter, and Zach Fremantle for the Musketeers. On the other side for Toledo, it's Seth Miller Jr., Marianne Jackson, Ryan Rollins, Spencer Littleson, and Jonathan Kamagoon. Here's Rollins from the right elbow, too strong with that one, and Carter, a career-high 11 rebounds yesterday, secures that one for the Musketeers. Here's Fremantle working down low. Spins from the right side, gets it to go with his right hand. He put Xavier on the board. Career-high 21 in the season opener 2 days ago against Oakland, had 17 yesterday. Really paced this Musketeer squad.
It's going to be a great matchup for the Musketeers if they can get Fremantle on Milner. You saw the size mismatch, and athletic is Fremantle inside, able to put that one home. And there's Marianne Jackson connecting for 3.
Marianne Jackson has in the gym range, as we like to say, can shoot it from all over the floor. Not afraid to let it fly whenever he gets the basketball.
He was 6 for 21 in the first game of this Xavier Invitational, and that'll tell you that he's confident putting it up.
Scruggs attacking, can't finish that one. The ball in the hands of Jackson now. There's Jackson from deep again, but it rolls in and out. Fremantle controls. Fremantle had a double-double yesterday. 21 points, 12 rebounds, and a career-high 4 assists. Here's Carter from the corner, too strong. After Xavier shot very well from 3 in the season opener, it was a bit more of a struggle yesterday against Bradley. Driving down the hoop. Carter picks up the foul. The finish. Toledo out to a strong start. Ryan Rollins.
Rollins, a great strong move inside there off the block. Able to gain the contact on Carter. And Rollins has shown that ability to drive through contact in these first 2 games. Get a good look at him carrying it there up by the chest. Piece of the ball there for Carter.
Scruggs attacking down the left side of the lane. Too strong again. Here's Littleson corralling it, pushing it ahead. Rollins to the hoop. He can't finish. Carter now back and forth we go. Scruggs patiently waiting, looking to feed the post for Fremantle. Xavier's 2 points.
Physical with Fremantle that time, and that was Seth Milner. Got the better of the matchup on that exchange.
A little touch foul on Fremantle as Jackson tried to turn the corner on the wing. And we'll see the first substitution of the game. Fremantle picks up 2 quick fouls, and that's something to keep an eye on. Here just over 3 minutes into the game, Fremantle has to go to the bench and to transfer Ryan Griffin into the game.
Jonathan Kamagoon is the other half of the equation down there in the post for Toledo, a junior forward center, 6'9", 215 from London, England. And Fremantle, sort of the hybrid. He can play outside, he can be physical inside. Kamagoon doesn't have the outside game. It'll be interesting to see how that works out in the post.
There's Jackson again. Taking that shot from the elbow. He's so good at creating that space. Something to keep an eye on the rest of the day. Scruggs back the other way himself, leaning in, and he's called for too many steps.
Paul Scruggs playing a little too fast here early for the Musketeers. Trying to body up there against Seth Milner. Milner holding his own here defensively on the last 2 possessions for Toledo.
See Kiki Tandy in the game for the first time today. Tandy did not play much in the second half yesterday against Bradley. We'll see him improve his decision making as this game goes long, as this season really gets started. Lit it up, had 6 threes in that opening game against Oakland 2 days ago. Jackson controlling, good start for Toledo. They're up 7-2. Rollins from the corner, and he gets it to go. Ryan Rollins and this Toledo team lighting it up right now. 4 for 9 from the field to get things going, and Toledo out to a quick 10-2 start. Xavier has to talk things over as we go to the first time out of the game. Back here at the Cintas Center, Toledo out to a hot start against the Xavier Musketeers. The Rockets leading 10-2, and this is indicative of how this Toledo team has started the season. It was a bit rough in their season opener against Bradley on Wednesday, but yesterday against Oakland, they got on the right track and hit 16 threes in that game yesterday against Oakland, 8 of them coming from the hands of Spencer Littleson. But already today, Mike, Ryan Rollins and this Toledo team, 10-2. Ryan Rollins with a 3, Marianne Jackson with a 3. Those are 2 guys that this team, if they want to keep this run going and try to make some noise here this afternoon, they're going to need a lot out of those 2 guys.
The Rockets got beat on the last second shot against the Bradley Braves, and you wonder how comfortable they got yesterday, shooting 46% from the field. And we mentioned the Littleson prowess from 3-point range. That's carried over so far into the early going. Travis Steele had to burn the timeout early, and Xavier down 8. See how well Toledo holds it down here defensively, and how long Travis Steele wants to play without Zach Fremantle.
Fremantle with 2 early fouls. Tandy, top of the key here for Jason Carter. Everything outside the perimeter now. Scruggs tries to control. Toledo drops back into that zone. Jason Carter working his way. Nice pass across the court into the corner. Again, too strong, and Xavier having some trouble shooting here early on.
Great hustle play there. Milner into Jackson.
Jackson from deep. Too strong.
Well, he is not afraid to pull the trigger. And you mentioned it, Paul, in the gym range, and that one out near the tip of the X at the midcourt logo.
There's Tandy, but Jason Carter corralling, keeping the possession alive. Kickball keeps it on this end with Xavier. Mattia Akunzo into the game for the first time for the Rockets.
Saw Akunzo make some great passes out of traffic yesterday, some pinpoint passes to the perimeter to give Littleson some opportunity.
Griffin finishing after the miss from Carter. That's 2 offensive rebounds on the same possession for the Musketeers to keep that possession alive. Out of the timeout, Xavier went to that under 16 break, trailing by 8, trying to settle things down here early.
It's great work in traffic there by Griffin, being asked to hold that post down while Zach Fremantle's out. There's a nice 3 coming in from outside. That's Keyshawn Saunders, the freshman redshirt guard.
Yeah, Keyshawn Saunders was a MAC all-freshman team last year. Head coach Todd Kowalczyk thought his biggest stride was his mental approach, made winning plays, but not just to score points, wants them to make those winning plays. Here's Griffin from downtown. He's off to the left. Xavier's shooting struggles continue.
And Paul Toledo's sitting back in that zone. Here's Littleson. First 3 won't go. Big rebound there for Carter, but watch Toledo sitting back here. They're going to just let Xavier shoot over the top of them until they can prove they can make something out there.
Tandy beating down low to Griffin. Griffin fighting for it. He draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
Hey, great energy there for Brian Griffin to gain that second chance opportunity and get himself to the free throw line. Fremantle going to come back in now for Travis Steele with the next opportunity.
Brian Griffin to the line, endearing himself to this Xavier fan base, new in a Musketeer uniform this year. And he hits the first. Transfer from Mercy College.
You see Todd Kowalczyk, the Toledo Rockets head coach, counter there with Kamagum when Fremantle came back in. So Kamagum in there at 6'9", and again, I think that matchup goes to Fremantle with the athleticism.
Griffin gets them both, and now Xavier cut the lead down to 7, 13-6 after a 10-2 start for Toledo. Beating down low, Xavier able to deflect the pass. Transition Scruggs up the left side. Slicing through, feeding underneath. Fremantle back in the game with those 2 fouls and immediately making some noise, but then a technical foul, and if that's on Fremantle, that's going to be a serious issue for the Musketeers.
We see Kamagum out there for Toledo, the big man at midcourt, kind of holding his hands up in the air. So there's some kind of exchange there, and Zach Fremantle maybe mentioning he's going to be around that post all day for you there, Jonathan.
Fremantle not one to mince his words, always showing his enthusiasm after made baskets down there in that area, flexing back up the court, but that was a technical foul on Zach Fremantle. And because that's a technical foul, it's also a personal foul. And that's his 3rd foul with 13:37 left in the first half. Marianne Jackson to the line. He makes the first technical free throw, and that is a massive storyline here in this first half. Got 2 quick fouls. Jackson hits the second. 2 quick fouls, and then had to go to the bench. Immediately comes back in, scores, gets the tech. Now with 3 fouls, he'll stay out on the court.
They're going to bring Carter in now.
Jason Carter subbing him out.
Well, we'll give Fremantle credit. He did go over and get an explanation from the official. So he will know better next time. But still, Zach Fremantle early now, 13:28 to play here in this first, and Fremantle on the bench with 3 fouls. See if Toledo can take advantage. Good hands there on the baseline by Kiki Tandy.
Tandy driving down the left side, pulls up, floats with one hand. Can't get it to fall. Xavier 3 for 13 from the field to start this game. Jackson kicks into the corner, 3-ball on the way, and it's good for Akunzo.
Great look there from Marianne Jackson. Jackson averaged about 5 assists last season for the Toledo Rockets, and you see he's not just a shooter, so he'll distribute at times. I'll tell you what, he's got a lot more energy than he had, I know, in the opening game. And yesterday they didn't have to expend a whole bunch against Oakland. Marianne Jackson has his A game up right now for the Toledo Rockets.
Some more words from the officiating crew for the benches, and this thing's gotten a little chippy here to start off. Travis Steele not pleased with how it's transpired to this point. 12:46 left in the first half. Toledo 6 for 13 from the field, but more importantly for them, 4 for 7 from beyond the arc. Don't know what we're waiting on. All the officials seemingly ready to go. Could be a clock issue. All the officials looking at that clock. From our broadcast position up here on the concourse level, we don't have the ability like we would in a normal year to go down and talk to the officials or get an explanation.
We get a shot of the conversation there at the scoring table, and two thumbs up. That's a good sign. That's what it was, Paul, is the scoreboard. Scoreboard read 18-11. Now 18-8. I kind of like the 11 better on the Musketeer side, to be honest with you.
Here's Nate Johnson, another transfer into the Xavier program. Beating the high post to Carter, spins, works off the glass, can't get it, but there's Griffin again. And a deflection off of Griffin's hands, Toledo basketball.
Jonathan Kamagum in there at 6'9", again causing trouble for the Musketeers. And Brian Griffin showing the guts to power through some of that contact. It just knocked it off of his shoulder and out of bounds. Toledo's really making it tough, collapsing inside, cutting off the driving lanes for the Musketeers.
Kamagum out of London here to this Toledo team. Xavier traps on the sideline. Down the baseline to floater. Griffin controls. It's his 4th rebound already. A lazy turnover for Odom. Here's the other way. Rollins to the hoop with his left hand.
Rollins, a freshman from Macomb, Michigan. He's shown throughout this multiple team event that he's able to finish on the run. And Toledo's not going to look to do that first, but if the opportunity's there, they're going to get down the floor.
Tandy from the left wing, doesn't use the screen, goes to the hoop, reverse, the finish and the foul. What an athletic play from Kiki Tandy.
Great job by Tandy just to recognize that opening, drive it in, catch the reverse layup in contact.
We'll take a break here on GoXavier.com as Kiki Tandy up and under for 2. The hoop and the harm. Xavier down 10.
Let's say you're someone like Hannah, bright, resourceful, ready to go. You check out fill-in-the-blank State University, and you feel, well, a little lost. Then you reverse course. You visit that small college your uncle went to, but now you're stuck in neutral wondering if maybe they don't have the majors, internships, research, facilities, and activities that you're sort of expecting. And then you check out Toledo. You meet an advisor, and he tells you about the experience and mentorship you'll find right here at the University of Toledo.
here early on. Toledo up by 10, 20-10 at the under 12 timeout. Xavier talking things over here, Mike, as it's been a hot start shooting the basketball for the Toledo Rockets. They have jumped out to this 10-point lead, backed on 4 for 7 shooting from beyond the arc.
46.7% from the floor and holding the Musketeers to 4 of 16. Xavier does have the rebounding advantage at 12-9. 4 rebounds apiece from Griffin and Carter. Paul Scruggs been a little quiet for the Musketeers. 0 for 2, and here's Tandy at the free throw line. After the contact, he can't finish the three-point play following the break.
Here's Rollins again. Up top for Hill, fresh into the game. Rollins thinking about that three. Give it away to Littleson. 4 out, 1 in right now for Toledo.
Milner came up short there as the shot clock was winding down. Got a good look at it, able to float.
Milner, 27 minutes yesterday, had 11 points, one of 4 Rockets in double figures. Xavier off the mark and another rebound for Toledo. Jameer Hill, the freshman. Littleson surveying the floor. And off to Seth Milner. Down the right side of the lane. He drives against Deontay Miles. And the junior scoring. Extending this lead to 12.
Milner's first 2, but he's listed as a transfer in from Northwest Florida College, but actually played a little bit with Cleveland State before he sees.
Miles down in the posts, and he finishes with his left hand. The freshman. A great game in the season opener. Didn't get all that many minutes yesterday, but Zach Fremantle already with 3 fouls. He's in there this afternoon. Contest at the rim. Toledo still able to get 2 shots off amidst that commotion there underneath with Kamagoon.
Musketeers return the favor and clog up the lane.
Pull up from the baseline. Juan Odom, the hero of yesterday's game in the final seconds, gets on the scoreboard with his first 2 points.
Well, Xavier's been into the offensive zone. They've been getting a shot up quite quickly. So that was 1 pass and go.
Rollins slicing through the defense and answering.
I wonder if Travis Steele would like to see him work a little more offense in the set. Kiki Taney going to take it right down Broadway and put up a shot in traffic. That's what may be a bit ill-advised there for the Musketeers.
Yeah, with his left hand, Mike through 2 defenders hitting the bottom of the rim.
Especially taken right at 6'9", so you like the confidence. Maybe not the decision to put that up in traffic, down 10.
Littleson gives a fake, creates space, but off the mark. Here come the Musketeers, trailing by 10. Odom kicks it out. Scruggs passed up a 3. And got the foul from Littleson.
We can look back to yesterday. Remember Paul Scruggs in traffic over there at the left elbow at that end of the court, able to recover a ball on the floor, put one up, and knock it in under a little defensive pressure as well. So Scruggs has been able to use that jab step to draw contact here early in this season.
Tandy to Carter for the Musketeers. Scruggs feeding that post again to Carter. Spins to his right, off the glass, and finally gets that friendly roll. Basket hasn't been too friendly to the Musketeers so far, but that one stays true.
Great job by Carter to recognize his physical advantage there over Littleson. Took him right to the rack.
Foul outside on that hedge from Deontay Miles. That's his first foul.
But Paul, we've seen Toledo be quite patient in the offense, and that skip pass to the wings all the way across the court. They've had a couple open 3 shooters there. We'll see if the Musketeers can learn a little bit defensively here and get out and challenge that.
Marianne Jackson, he's been a little quiet today. Way too strong with that one high off the glass. It's been the Ryan Rollins show for the Toledo Rockets, as opposed to what you may have been expecting from Marianne Jackson. Here's Tandy rising up for three, and he gets it. His first three of the afternoon. And if he gets that going, it could be very dangerous.
They talked about making Kiki Tandy the straight shooter here. Don't have to worry about a whole lot, just put it up and go, and Tandy delivered there.
300 fans in attendance here at the Cintas Center, and the Xavier portion is on their feet. Carter creating trouble underneath. The spin, the foul. And that'll send Luke Marenka to the line. But we have a timeout first. Xavier has cut into this lead. They've cut it from 10 to 5 as we go to the break. Tandy. Straight away. Xavier will need more of that. Right back in this one. Back here at the Cintas Center as Xavier edges back into this game, trailing at 1 point by 10, now down to 5 as Toledo steps to the line out of this timeout. Brian Griffin has controlled this game so far for the Musketeers. 4 points, 4 rebounds. Jason Carter's had a nice start, 5 rebounds for him, but the story is Zach Fremantle picking up 3 fouls about 7 minutes into this game. Both free throws good for Marenka. Stretch the lead back out to 7.
Ball Xavier's 36% from the floor. They started the day 48%, so you know they're off schedule, at least shooting-wise, but they made 4 of the last 5.
Scruggs spinning through the lane, feeding underneath. There's Griffin again, and he lost the basketball.
Great idea there, great vision by Paul Scruggs, and you see Griffin sort of pat his chest, say, that one was on me. He passed a little bit low, but it was a bounce pass. Griffin just unable to pull it off his knees.
Jackson off the handoff. Saunders decides to go underneath with the scoop. There's a foul. That'll go against Toledo.
And that was Luke Marenka down there battling for the rebound. Got a little extra push.
DeJuan Odom, this Musketeer team trailing by 7. Going to cut back into this as we approach the half.
Toledo now 1 for its last 7. They haven't scored in 2:30.
Johnson straight away to Griffin. Right side, it's Odom. He'll rise up. That's a long 2. Rolls around and out.
There again, Toledo just sitting back defensively, saying, all right, you want to beat us from 3? We'll let you try.
Jackson straight away again. He thought about it. Step back, hesitation against Carter. Great defense there from Jason Carter. Griffin walling up. But even better finish for Marenka. Now 4 points for him.
Great body control there for Marenka. Able to absorb a little bit of contact.
Carter left side here. Scruggs from deep.
Well, that was a good look for Xavier. Scruggs on the mark, just a little bit long.
Xavier now 1 for 5 from 3. Littleson back to Jackson. He'll fire away. That one off the back of the rim.
Ooh,
and
big
then a
collision.
foul. Scruggs going to help up Marianne Jackson. That's his first foul. No real foul trouble for the Rockets. Nobody has more than 1. But on the other side for Xavier, Zach Fremantle, he has 3 fouls, and Deontay Miles, a quick 2.
Jackson picked up that first foul. Now Todd Kowalczyk gonna give him a rest. Almost like Jackson trying to do a little too much, trying to deliver that knockout punch to the Musketeers there. The quick 3 and then an aggressive shot at the steal. He picked up that foul.
Odom down the right side of the lane, drops it off for Griffin, who knows just what to do with that one. Have yourself an afternoon, Brian Griffin.
Griffin now is 6, and that's a great sign for the Musketeers as that one opened up nicely on the block.
Rollins trying to answer. Carter walls up. The strip there from DeJuan Odom. Here's Xavier on the break. They have numbers. Scruggs leaves it off. Tandy, he finishes. And Xavier's within 5.
Beautiful look by Scruggs. It was 4 on 3 there for the Musketeers. He found Tandy, was able to glide through the traffic. Soft off glass, 5-point edge for Toledo.
Toledo will need to settle things down, but Xavier wants to ride this wave right now. Littleson outside. From 3, can't answer. Rebound Carter.
That's where Littleson was deadly yesterday. Able to work himself open for a 3.
Tandy again from deep. Short on that. Rebound Carter. Keeping the possession alive. Xavier dominating right now on the offensive glass. Odom off the glass and in. Lead down to 3 for the Rockets.
Great sign there for Travis Steele. The Musketeers starting to probe inside, not settling for that quick outside look.
6-0 run for the Musketeers in the last minute and a half. Has them within 1 possession. Scruggs, he wipes that ball. Scruggs straight away. Middle of the lane, the floater. And it's a 1-point game from Paul Scruggs in this Xavier team. An 8-0 run heads the Musketeers right back in it.
Yeah, Xavier 4 for its last 5, Paul, and it's defense to offense here for the Musketeers. Inside, great look there for Brian Griffin. Knock it down, Musketeers coming back down 1.
Xavier has cut this lead from 10-1 on the back of an 8-0 run for the Musketeers over the last minute and 42 seconds. Mike, Xavier, 4 of their last 5 from the field.
Absolutely, and how do you get back in the game? Start getting better shots, getting looks inside, higher percentage shots, working a little offense. Brian Griffin coming up huge on a nice dish to get the Musketeers rolling with a little energy. Xavier now leading the field goal percentage, got it up to 41.4, 12 of 29 from the floor, but still 1 of 6 from behind the arc. And Paul, remember, they're doing this all without Zach Fremantle. Wide open look there is they lost Ryan Rollins on the baseline.
Rollins, the game's first double-figure scorer. He's up to 11 right now on a lapse on the defensive end. But Tandy trying to answer. Gets the foul call, can't finish the bucket.
Yeah, Kamagum came over there and tried to wall up, but he left his feet. You're going to get called for that 90% of the time if you're in the air, whether you're straight up or not.
Kiki Tandy to the line. Tandy had 6 threes in the season opener 2 days ago. A little quiet yesterday, didn't play much in the second half. After the game, Coach Steele talking about Tandy, wants to see him improve his decision making.
Kamagum left the game there. And Luke Marenka now back on for Toledo in the post. Let's see if Xavier can find Brian Griffin here.
Xavier back within 1 after the free throws from Tandy. Rollins, game's leading scorer with 11.
Rollins, a freshman, he averaged 25, almost 26 points in high school. That's translated over quite nicely for the Rockets here early.
Scruggs doing a nice job on Milner Jr. Shot clock an issue here. 3 to go. Straight away Rollins, and he knows what to do with that one. Ryan Rollins, 2 for 2 now from beyond the arc.
Solid poise for the freshman Rollins.
Tandy drives, fades away, and he answers. Kiki Tandy.
All right, Paul, what's the second advantage there for Kiki Tandy? You're going to go in there and pack the lane. All right, I'm going to bring it in a little bit closer, hit my mid-range game. I don't need to launch it from 3.
Tandy leads Xavier with 11. Jackson, in front of that Xavier logo, down the right side of the lane, to the cup, and he's fouled.
Good aggressive drive there for Jackson, trying to make something happen for his Toledo Rockets. Be a huge boost for Toledo to get into the half with any kind of lead. A foul went against Scruggs. Xavier in pretty good shape foul-wise, other than the Zach Fremantle 3. It's just 2 for Miles, 1 for Carter, 1 for Scruggs.
Marianne Jackson to the line. Mike averaged nearly 20 points last year, second in the MAC in scoring, but even crazier than that, had a school record 99 threes. Averaged over 3 threes a game.
Yeah, they coined the phrase heat check for a guy like that. Again, 6 for 21 in the opening game of this Xavier Invitational, so not afraid to put it up, and that 6 for 21 not reflective of his career. He's going to knock those in more often than not, but that was game 1 of this season.
Jackson a quiet 7 points today. Here's Tandy again, this time from the right elbow. Off the mark.
Good look there for Tandy. But again, Xavier putting it up early in the possession.
Rollins on the right wing, being patient. Johnson doing a good job on him. Ball into the corner. What a save. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Nate Johnson and the Musketeers. It'll stay with the Rockets.
Well, how about Spencer Littleson getting down there for the Toledo Rockets, throwing it behind his back as he's diving to the floor to keep that alive. Toledo got a little bit lucky there. That could have been a Xavier fast break very quickly.
Jackson getting it in, but a foul called on Paul Scruggs.
And I think a pretty good call there as he got tied up into the shoulder area for Seth Milner. Scruggs picks up his second. 8 now for the Musketeers, so Toledo going to get a chance to do it here from the free throw line. And they're just 6 of 7 there so far today, so 86%. And that'll tick up a bit as Milner knocks this in.
Last time Xavier played Toledo was in the first round of the NIT right here at the Cintas Center 2 seasons ago at the end of the 2019 season. A.J. Adu played in that game along with Spencer Littleson, the only 2 players for Toledo that are on this team that played in that game. Adu, a big part of this Toledo team that is not playing today, was injured yesterday. We're not seeing him.
Yeah, he's 6'10", 225, so imagine throwing him into that mix down there with Kamagum at 6'9". Xavier catching a little bit of a break without the presence of Adu, and he's a great shot blocker as well.
Jackson off the mark to the left, and Tandy bringing it down. 1 minute left here in the first half. Xavier trailing by 5. Scruggs spinning in the lane. Scruggs gets it back outside. He'll try a 3, and he'll bring Xavier within 2.
Great look out of traffic there by Dwan Odom. Drew the double, and what do you do, Paul? Kick it out to the wing. And there's your senior to knock one down for 3 and bring him back.
Lazy pass there from Marianne Jackson. Xavier will take advantage of that. A foul on Maranka. That's his 17th foul, sending Xavier to the line for the 1-and-1.
There you go, big opportunity here to draw even.
And to reset, Zach Fremantle on the bench. Picked up 2 quick fouls. Travis Steele put him on the bench and put him back in a couple minutes later. Scored, but got a tech right after. It's the front end of the 1-and-1 there. It's Scruggs.
Got about a 6-second differential here between shot and game clock. So shot clock at 19 here for Toledo.
Rollins down the left side through 2 defenders. Can't finish. Offensive rebound. Then a foul. And I believe that'll go against Johnson, and it will.
Yeah, Nate Johnson, a little extra contact, but it looked like Milner was leaning back, trying to create something there at the basket. That could have been offensive just as easily as it was called against Johnson.
First free throw is good there from the line. Toledo stretching their lead out to 3.
Continuing to take advantage here now. 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 of 10 from behind the arc, and those 5 threes a big factor in this 3-point lead. Now make it 4.
Seth Milner Jr. A 2-possession lead for Toledo. Xavier will hold for the final shot. Tandy along the right side of the court. Tandy driving down the left side with 2 to the hoop. And he can't get that one to fall. And at the break, Toledo with a 4-point lead here at the Cintas Center over the Xavier Musketeers.
Nice thought there for Xavier at the end of the half on that last possession. Isolate for Kiki Tandy. Hey, son, go make a basket. Good drive, just didn't come a little bit short.
Xavier right now going to have some work to do in the second half as Toledo made 5 threes, 50% from beyond the arc. Xavier was 14 for 34 from the field as a team. We go into the halftime break with Brian Griffin facing this Xavier Musketeer team. Tandy the leading scorer, but Griffin 6 points and 4 rebounds, loomed large in that first half. We'll go to the break. Toledo up by 4 on GoXavier.com. Center for the second half. Toledo with a 4-point edge. Mike, they shot the ball very well in that first half.
Yeah, Toledo, solid start, 36% from the floor, but they cooled off in the second 10 minutes of that first half. Still got 14 out of Ryan Rollins, 6 of 12 from the floor. One of the freshmen, Kiki Taney, answering for the Musketeers as Xavier heated up defensively and held Toledo scoreless for the last 2:48 of that first half. Xavier able to get back in it to cut it to 4. Xavier now 14 of 34 from the floor to start the second half, 41%. They're 2 of 7 from behind the arc. You got to think that number's going to improve. Toledo hit 5 threes, hit 9 free throws in the first half, and that really helped them keep the Musketeers trailing.
As Xavier really appreciated the defense and the rebounding efforts of Jason Carter in that first half. He only had 2 points, but had 10 rebounds and came up with some clutch defensive possessions along the baseline. Xavier will look for more of that here in this second half. We'll also see Zach Fremantle out there to start this second half. Zach Fremantle with 3 fouls in this game, 2 of them in the first about 3 minutes of action. And then he picked up what was classified as a Class A technical foul, a verbal tech, after he scored when he came back into the game with those 2 fouls. Got teed up for whatever he said. Here he is on the first possession of the second half, gets the foul and the bucket. 9 seconds into the second half, and Xavier already on the scoreboard. Cut it to 1.
So Zach Fremantle played 4 minutes in the first half. Musketeers went into that break down 4. Here he comes out, reestablishing himself quite quickly. So I think for Travis Steele, if you look at that number, hey, we went toe-to-toe here with Toledo, trailed most of the way. And Zach Fremantle only played 4 minutes. I think he'd be okay with that. And here's Marianne Jackson. Musketeers did a nice job on him. 7 points so far. He's 1 of 7, but he got to the line 4 times and converted each time.
Jackson going down in the corner. Littleson hesitated, thought about a 3. Carter now out on Jackson. And Carter creates the travel. There's that defense I was talking about with Jason Carter, Mike.
Well, remember, too, that Carter transferred here from Ohio University in the MAC, so he played against Marianne Jackson. He's going to know a little bit and remember a little bit about what Marianne Jackson can produce. Got out there and did a nice job to create that turnover.
DeJuan Odom outside, 4 points for the freshman there. Underneath, Fremantle now. Working against Milner Jr. Now double teamed in the post. Fremantle fights through it, looking for the rebound, but can't come up with it. Milner Jr. back the other way.
Zach Fremantle going back down, looking for the foul. Looking back at the official going, can I get a little bit of help here on this contact?
Jackson hesitating now down the left side of the lane. Uses his body to create space under control with the left hand, and Jackson showing off a little flair there to extend the lead to 3.
It's great veteran recognition, Paul. So he's known to be the sharpshooter, the in-the-gym shooter. Now he's going inside to create for himself, and it's working out so far for Toledo.
Xavier being aggressive here in this second half, not settling for jump shots. They're going right at the rim. That foul called on the floor. Paul Scruggs drawing the contact.
There you're going to look at Scruggs just getting tripped up there.
Fremantle outside. He can hit the 3, but off with that one.
Nice job by Carter to gain the position on the taller Kamagoon.
Odom off the left side. Didn't even draw iron.
Yeah, that one heavy, Paul.
Marianne Jackson flips it into the corner. Milner Jr. Now Jackson again for 3. Over Fremantle. And the lead back to 6 with 18 minutes left.
All right, last 2 possessions. You just saw the full portfolio there from Marianne Jackson. So he steps out for 3. Drove it in on the previous possession. And a huge answer there for Odom as he found the lane and went right after it.
How about that crossover? Hitting the defender off his feet, going to the lane with the left hand. High post here for Kamagoon. Hands it off to Jackson. Fremantle switches on to him. Jackson again to the left side of the lane, again with the left hand, but a different result this time as he was off the mark. Scramble for the basketball. Johnson comes away with it for the Musketeers, and here's Scruggs.
Well, that time Jackson got pushed out and then just had to throw it up. A little bit of a prayer there.
Odom. Now Carter. Had it poked away by Rollins, but it'll stay with the Musketeers.
So Rollins with 14 points for Toledo, now doing it defensively and advanced for a freshman here in just his third game as a Toledo Rocket.
Tandy to Carter, 4-3. He can't find the bottom of the net. Xavier now 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. Carter trying to go straight up, frustrated with that foul call.
That's the same call they made on Kamagum for Toledo in the first half. So again, once you leave your feet, you are more likely to get called for the foul than if you stayed there. But the unfortunate part of that is you saw Milner lose the handle on a basketball when he was going up. Maybe that's what Carter was talking about. He said, hey, you didn't even have the ball. How can he be shooting?
Milner Jr. off with the first. Top 40 JUCO recruit out of Northwest Florida State. He spent his freshman year at Cleveland State, where he started all 27 games that he played in. Had high hopes for him, and coaching staff says he's been even better than they've anticipated what they've gotten out of him here so far at Toledo. Lead back out to 5 for the Rockets. It's where it's hovered for the last about 7 minutes of game action. Fremantle on the low post, loses the basketball. Littleson with the strip.
Paul triple team down there. You got to throw out of that. Zach Fremantle should know better now in his sophomore year.
Rollins looking against Carter. Jabs right, puts the ball on the deck. Carter creating the turnover. Now it's Johnson. He'll reset. Nearly stolen away by Rollins again. Scruggs. It's that switch to Littleson. Now here's Carter. But Scruggs will just take the three. Long rebound back to Scruggs. In the pink, Johnson. Tough sledding right now for Xavier.
Had trouble there with the size of Kamagum at 6'9". Toledo is absolutely just packing it down to that baseline and saying, all right, Xavier, you want to drive it in here? We're going to force you to our sixth defender there on the line. Wide open shot here. That's going down. That's what Toledo did so well against Oakland yesterday, that reverse pass. And look at Paul Scruggs a little frustrated going, why aren't we rotating over there to catch that?
Seth Milner Jr. left wide open after a miscommunication from Xavier. And Toledo answers that Xavier run. Lead back out to 8. Juan Odom with his left hand. Odom with 6 points today for Xavier. The home team trailing by 8.
Milner's got 11 rebounds.
Point away from a double.
Sure.
Back here at the Cintas Center, Paul Fritschner and Mike Schmaltz with you. Toledo out to an 8-point lead right now. Seth Milner Jr. for the Rockets. Mike 1 point shy of a double-double with 9 points and 11 rebounds.
Yeah, that 11 rebounds is a career best, and Toledo not to an efficient start here in the second half. 3 of 4 from the floor, 2 of 2 from behind the arc. Musketeers haven't scored in the last 2:25. They're 1 for their last 7. 25% from the floor, 2 for 8.
It's Tandy, Fremantle, Griffin, Johnson, and Scruggs on the court for the Musketeers out of this timeout. Griffin underneath, had a great first half. There's his first points of the second half. Lead down to 6 for the Rockets.
Memo to Travis Steele, feed Griffin inside. He had the energy early when Fremantle went out at the 4-minute mark. Let Griffin establish himself here in the second half.
Foul at the top of the key. Brian Griffin, he knows it, puts his hand up. That's on me, coach.
Self-awareness always important, and now that was a good lane on the drive there for Keyshawn Saunders, so he was probably going to either score it or get that close.
And we'll head to another break. Xavier inching their way into this one, but trailing by 7, and Toledo trying to maintain control as you see the stats there on your screen. 21 bench points for the Musketeers, trying to use that depth that they have, but Musketeers also missing a couple of key players that they were expecting to count on due to COVID protocols. CJ Wilcher and Colby Jones not available for likely the first couple weeks of the season. Xavier announcing that the other day, and Xavier, have to imagine they would be appreciating their services right now, even more depth off that bench.
Absolutely, and you know they wanted to count on that, but the nice news for the Musketeers is you've got a Paul Scruggs out there. You've got Zach Fremantle as a sophomore who played significant minutes. You've got Carter, the grad transfer. So there's plenty of experience there to carry the load here for the Musketeers. Paul, the thing I'm looking at here is defensive rebounds. Toledo with 21 and Xavier with 19, but the Rockets really making it difficult for the Musketeers inside. Xavier's found some lanes here in the last couple of possessions, especially with Brian Griffin there on the block with 8 points. So he's 3 of 6. We'll see if Travis Steele might go big at some point during this second half to try to exploit some shots down low. Points in the paint a lead also for Toledo, 16 there. So they've been effective.
Xavier trailing by 6 as we get into the middle portion of this second half. And Toledo is really just locking down defensively after Xavier scored over 100 points, had 103 in the season opener against Oakland. Scored 51 yesterday. Had less points in the entire game yesterday, did the Musketeers, than they had in the first half against Oakland. Xavier scored 53 in that first half against Oakland. Scored 51 for the entire game yesterday.
Yeah, Oakland's in an evolving process, and 11 practices early, had a 21-day pause, and then 4 practices before it was able to get here to start this invitational. So they've got a lot of growth to do, and that had a lot to do with that margin, but Musketeers saw a lot of zone in that Oakland game, and they're seeing it here again today.
Marianne Jackson out of this timeout for Toledo. Puts his head down, uses the basketball briefly. Xavier, Paul Scruggs knocking it away. Only 3 on the shot clock for the Rockets. We'll see what they do here from the sideline.
Great defensive combination there with Odom and Paul Scruggs. And we've seen Scruggs get scrappy. He's got the length for a point guard, able to tip a lot of balls away.
Amagoon, a long 3 off the front of the rim for Saunders.
Nice job by the Musketeers to force Saunders so far out as the shot clock expired.
Tandy, he'll try a 3. And Xavier Appreciate that one. Lead down to 3. Tandy, the team's leading scorer, now with 14.
All right, Paul, there's quick shots for the sake of quick shots, but there's quick shots when that was a good look, and Tandy had a good look, had a lot of room there, was able to set himself and knock down that 3, so a good choice.
And Fremantle put out on defense, swatting that one into the first row of the stands.
So there's that extra boost of athleticism you see from Zach Fremantle. A lot of times the bigs can't move that quickly. Fremantle, quick jump came over the top of that one. Saw that all the way.
Jackson inbounding on the baseline to Littleson. Ran a great play to get him open.
Good look there, just came all the way around the top of the key, got the screen, a little dump off, and Littleson with a big 2.
Had 24 points yesterday and didn't have a single point from inside the arc. Here's Johnson answering for 3.
Another good look there, but again, early in the shot clock, but Xavier's starting to gain that confidence now.
First points of the afternoon for Nate Johnson. Littleson, motion offense around the top of the key for Toledo. Fading away a floater, but bailed out on the foul call. That'll go against Kiki Tandy. That's his first foul. There's a tough look falling away from the bucket for Keyshawn Saunders.
Toledo continuing to be aggressive, trying to draw the contact. And they are 10 of 13 from the line, so a good free throw shooting team. And if they can kind of pick their way down the stretch here with opportunities at the free throw line, 2 things will happen. One, they'll stop the clock. That'll allow them to keep some energy, keep their legs a little bit fresh, maybe substitute. And then you got to convert.
That's the first. Here's the second. That one's good. 3-point lead again for Toledo. Up the court comes DeJuan Odom, and the Xavier team can tie it with a 3. Tandy into the corner, Scruggs, but there was a foul.
Good burst there by Kiki Tandy. And that one caught Saunders off guard. Saunders picks up that foul on the floor.
Yeah, his second foul. Nobody in foul trouble. Nobody has more than 2 for Toledo.
Both teams with 3, so not in danger of shooting yet here as we're nearing the 13-minute mark here in a second.
Odom outside, Fremantle. Round and out.
All right, Paul, so the Musketeers hit back-to-back 3s on possessions, and then Fremantle launches one. Capable. Maybe getting a little too attracted to that long-range shot. Good turnover here.
Deflection for Johnson, 2-on-1 for the Musketeers. Leaving it up for Fremantle.
Flush it in transition, Zach Fremantle to bring the Musketeers within 1. Now they're going to call maybe hanging on the rim. That's another technical for Fremantle.
That's the
his second one.
That's the second technical on Zach Fremantle, and his day is over. Hanging on the rim, he pulled up and he slapped the backboard.
Yeah, by rule, Paul, probably a good call. A little bit of extra, especially with the backboard slap. And you wonder that early verbal exchange he had on the first basket that drew the first technical, if that was in the back of the official's mind there when Fremantle went up. So there's letter of the law, spirit of the law there.
Yep.
I'm more of a spirit of the law guy in that particular exchange. You got to let the man play with a little bit of emotion. So a tough day for Zach Fremantle, and Xavier down a key piece here, facing a 2-point deficit.
Yeah, how does Xavier respond now? His second technical of the day means his afternoon is over. And Fremantle maybe been Xavier's best player so far. Will have to sit on the bench. A 2-point lead after the technical free throws. Xavier gets the ball back and foul on the Rockets.
Reach and foul there on Marenka as Carter came over the top to try to create that turnover. And how about the experience there of Marianne Jackson going over to Marenka and saying, hey, here's how you do that the right way.
Odom from the elbow outside Carter. He can hit that too. And he gets the friendly roll, and Xavier has the lead at 52-51.
That ball landed on the brace, stuck, and fell in.
Xavier finally with the lead back by 1. Can they hold on? Here's Jackson. Elbow jumper, and Toledo answers. Seth Milner Jr. Back and forth we go at the Cintas Center.
Great poise there by a veteran Toledo team. Okay, we're facing a little bit of adversity. We're on the road. A lot of times you see that quick shot go up, but Milner went right in there and found a nice mid-range.
Tandy off the mark. That ball deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Musketeers out of the timeout, but we are not going to go to commercial here at this timeout. We're going to stay right here on the court. And Mike, want to take a second. Paul Fritschner on this call with you with Mike Schmaltz, and want to take a second to give some appreciation to the Cintas Center crew, Chris Schaff, Dave Overbeck, the rest of the crew, too many to name, but the rest of the Xavier media crew, everybody that made this broadcast possible. We got the call with about 10 minutes to airtime that the FS1 crew was not going to be available to do the game today. There was confirmation of that with about 10 minutes to go, that there were obviously some rights issues with Fox Sports that had to be overcome. Could Xavier stream this game? Could we make it available to the fans? Those issues got worked out, and with about 6 minutes left on the game clock, we were given the green light to go ahead and make this game happen. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in so far and enjoyed the game. Xavier trailing by 1. It's been a tough sledding game for the Musketeers, but from our end, huge kudos to this production crew and everybody that has made this game possible for everyone watching.
Yeah, so welcome aboard, Xavier Nation, and interesting scenario here. So you arrive and you see the Fox crew out on the loading dock, kind of milling around. The announcing team was there, but weren't in the building. So you're about an hour before. Usually you're up at your spot, you're collecting your notes, you're thinking about what you're going to run through there on the open. So a little bit different. And then you get over to the scoring table and the broadcast table, and they're starting to pull the monitors. And the tech there said, hey, broadcast is canceled. So, you know, you hang around, and sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, and here we are. But another tight one here for the Musketeers after breezing away from Oakland in that opening round. Xavier tested yesterday by Bradley, and really, if 2 free throws go in or 1 free throw, we probably go to overtime. There's, maybe a couple seconds left. With Bradley at the foul line. They missed that. Xavier got a rebound and got out of that scenario with a victory. And here today,
Terry Nolan Jr., the hero in game 1 for Bradley, and nearly the hero yesterday, hitting a 3 in the waning seconds, but Dewan Odom, the answer for the Musketeers. Nolan Jr. could not finish it off at the line. Had a 1-and-1, could have tied the game, could have given Bradley the lead, but missed the front end. Mike, we reset here. 5 team fouls for the Rockets, 3 for Xavier, 3 timeouts left for Toledo, 2 for the Musketeers. Xavier basketball out of the timeout. Musketeers trailing by 1 with 11:40 left. Johnson through traffic has it stolen away. The pass intercepted by Jackson. Jackson from 3.
Jackson felt that.
Johnson spinning through the lane with a left hand. No, but he gets his own board. That was Odom, excuse me. Tandy now, up and under. Can't get that shot to fall, but he'll have to earn it from the charity stripe. That was Odom. Spinning down through the lane, a talented freshman. Xavier really liking the career that Dewan Odom will likely have in his Musketeer uniform. Highly touted freshman.
Kiki Tandy for the season comes up with his first free throw attempt.
Misses the first.
Now Milner coming back on here for Toledo. Milner has 11 on 3 of 6. Rollins with 14. Jackson with 13 for Toledo. Tandy leading the Musketeers with 14, trying to make it 15. He will, and we're tied.
All tied at 53. 11 minutes and change remaining. Jackson with 13 points. 3 Rockets in double figures. Rollins with 14, Jackson with 13, Milner Jr. with 11. Akunzo. Outside Jackson, going to the right, drives through the lane, has it rejected by Odom. There he is again. The lob underneath, but it's deflected away. That one didn't have much of a chance. It was way off to the left. Odom had to go back for it. Xavier lucky to retain possession.
It's a great job there by Carter defensively on that last Toledo possession. Just got enough space between himself and Littleson there to deny that pass. There was nowhere to go with that pass once he got in the air.
Here's Odom, straight away for Carter. Johnson, step back 3, no. Milner Jr. corrals it, look to push, no, pull up. Driving the baseline goes Milner Jr. and might have gotten away with some steps.
Absolutely did. Xavier gave up on the play, thought it was going to be a travel call, and allowed an easy second chance bucket there for Milner.
Xavier not happy with the officiating today, and at points I think they have a right to be a little frustrated. Underneath the kick out, Scruggs to Carter. One more rotation to Tandy, but his feet were on the sideline, and now Toledo gets the ball back with a 2-point lead.
Solid closeout defensively there for Littleson on the wing as he got up and made Tandy take that extra step. Toledo continuing to make it tough for the Musketeers inside. Xavier committing now to driving more, trying to gain that high percentage shot. Toledo has been solid defensively, especially on the baseline.
Looking back at that call underneath on that last bucket for Toledo, I'm not really sure how they missed that one. Pretty obvious travel underneath the hoop. Toledo got the benefit of the doubt, scored the bucket, gave themselves a 2-point lead.
Toledo's led in this game 28 minutes, 16 seconds. Xavier's held the lead for 22 seconds.
Rollins up and under. Nearly got that one to fall, hit on the head.
Some more solid creation inside for Rollins, working on a 14-point afternoon.
A quick correction there, Zach Fremantle is back in the game. Thought on that last one that he was issued his second technical of the game, but we'll have to get some clarification on that one. They may have corrected the call. We're seeing here in the score sheet, it looks like they removed that tech from Fremantle.
So clearly my point about spirit of the law, well taken.
Yeah, very strange set of circumstances there as Fremantle is back in the game, and the score sheet online has changed the technical call to allow Fremantle back in this game. 3-ball off the mark for Xavier. Scramble for it, Tandy down on the court. Finds Johnson, Xavier keeps it, gets a new shot clock. Fremantle. And the foul against Toledo. And again, as I said in the first half, we're not down there on the floor. We're up here on the concourse level looking down on the floor in the midsection here of the Cintas Center Bowl. So we can't get clarification from up here on that. There must have been some discussion amidst the referees.
Well, that is part of the protocol. You are allowed to go back and review. I think it's up to 10 minutes or so of game time. I don't know if you can request a review like in the NFL, if Travis Steele or somebody from the staff can go over and say, hey, take another look at that.
And there's a foul off the missed free throw on Fremantle. That's his 4th. A bizarre afternoon for Zach Fremantle.
So just when you think you're out, they draw you right back in. So Fremantle having a up and down day here.
The official scorer has changed that technical foul to a team technical foul. It was removed from Fremantle. And that's what allowed Fremantle back in this game. The officiating there. Bit of a question, but Fremantle with 4 fouls can return. Xavier trailing by 3. And then a foul on Paul Scruggs. Ryan Rollins dove toward the basket.
Scruggs there with a little bit extra with the hip. Scruggs is trying to argue that, hey, Ryan Rollins hooked me when he was going around. Didn't really see that, but Rollins definitely had some momentum heading toward the floor, and Scruggs helped him out. Double dribble.
Got some clarification here. Twitter, Mike, never fails
The magic of Twitter.
to come through. Brian Snow tweeting in, there is a difference between a Class A and a Class B technical. We were not given which one up here Fremantle was issued. We knew we got that Class A in the beginning, but because Fremantle has both a Class A and a Class B, it means that he can stay in the game. So thanks to Brian for clarifying that one. Xavier with Fremantle's services the rest of the game, although, again, he does have 4 fouls. So he sits on the bench now with 8:24 left, and Tandy to the line.
He's 3 of 5 there so far today. And now 4 of 6. So Tandy now with 16. Fremantle with 9 in the limited minutes, 8 for Griffin. Kiki Tandy poised at the free throw line to bring the Musketeers within 1.
On the wing for Rollins. Littleson kicks it out. Here's Miller Jr. In front of the rim, no, and Johnson skies in for the board.
Jason Carter did a great job defensively on that possession for the Musketeers. They were trying to roll Kamagoon down to the right block, and Carter was all over that, cut off that look.
Odom rising up off the back of the rim, goes straight up and straight down, and now Xavier with the lead again at 57-56.
That's just the 3rd lead change today.
Toledo has led for over 30 minutes in this game. Xavier has only led for 30 seconds. But a jump ball, effort play, they'll stay with Toledo, but Xavier showing signs of life, up by 1 with 7:30 left.
Musketeers starting to pick up the energy. Odom finding a lane, slashing, back iron in. Musketeers up 1.
Let's say you're someone like Hannah, bright, resourceful, ready to go. You check out fill-in-the-blank State University, and you feel, well, a little lost. Then you reverse course. You visit that small college your uncle went to, but now you're stuck in neutral wondering if maybe they don't have the majors, internships, research, facilities, and activities that you're sort of expecting. And then you check out Toledo. You meet an advisor, and he tells you about the experience and mentorship you'll find right here at the University of Toledo.
Back here at the Cintas Center, Xavier with a 1-point lead. There's been 3 lead changes in this game. They led at 52-51. They now lead at 57-56. You see the stat reset there on your screen. Xavier with 11 points off of turnovers. The paint fairly even at 24-20. Little advantage there for Xavier. Musketeers have assisted on 15 of their 22 field goals.
All right, Xavier now down just 2 in defensive rebounds. And how are we going to get back into that one? Defensive energy. Paul Scruggs, 2 great plays, 1 to tie up the basketball, and now the steal here.
Expand on that lead. Down the lane, and a blocking foul on Littleson. Foul on the floor, but Xavier is in the bonus.
That's a 19 foul for Toledo. So now, see how committed the Musketeers are to driving it inside, trying to gain some 3-point opportunities the old-fashioned way, and or opportunities at the free throw line. Xavier came into today just 15% from the line for the season, though. So a chance to tune up that end of the operation.
Scruggs a little short on the front end. Jackson and this Rockets team, a little uneasy here over the last 3 minutes. Have 3 turnovers, haven't scored in the last 2.5. Foul outside on Kiki Tandy. Touch foul, his second.
Yeah, Tandy was on the backside of the defender there, so we didn't get a good look at that contact, but official quickly whistled in on the far sideline. So here's Keyshawn Saunders at the free throw line. He's 1 of 2 this afternoon.
Saunders makes the first. Would be remiss, Mike, without mentioning the story on the Toledo bench for the Toledo Rockets. Their associate head coach, Jeff Massey, former standout guard for the Musketeers. Graduated from Xavier in 1995. Guided Xavier to the 1994 NIT quarterfinals. Also played under Skip Prosser. Down the lane, Paul Scruggs with the left hand. Xavier flip-flops this lead back in their favor.
Well, there's my offensive patience, Paul. So spread the floor, give your athletes a chance to make some plays. Veteran move there for Paul Scruggs. Musketeers with awesome spacing to give Scruggs that opportunity.
Floater off the mark.
Toledo committed there to getting back in transition defense. Didn't even go after that rebound.
Scruggs spinning away, creating space, and the senior leader poised, calm, cool, and collected for Paul Scruggs. Xavier stretches the lead to 3 with 6 minutes left.
He hasn't looked that comfortable all day. But if you're going to get comfortable now in the closing minutes. Good look inside. Toledo able to answer.
Seth Milner Jr. ties for the team lead. 15 points for him. Tandy almost making something out of nothing there, and then transition back the other way. Unable to get that one to go. Keyshawn Saunders, left-handed layup contested at the hoop. Here's Scruggs again.
Great hustle down there by Odom to deny that at the basket.
Scruggs has the mismatch. There's Odom, the floater, no.
Great look there for Odom, just a little too strong. Can't argue with that shot selection.
Marianne Jackson. Right away for Kamagoon. Milner Jr. 3 on the shot clock. Jackson for 3. Contested shot. Xavier will bring it up the right side of the court.
Signature defensive effort there by the Musketeers. Carter.
Jason Carter had a tough go of it for him today shooting. Only 5 points, but he has 13 rebounds to lead the team. Marianne Jackson kicking it into the corner. Pass deflected. Scruggs scrambling for it. It went on the sideline. It'll stay with the Rockets.
Jackson trying to force his way through traffic, and he may be trying to do a little too much here for the Rockets. Saw that a little bit in the first half as well. He got into trouble down there and just lofted it over to the sideline, hoping somebody was there to pick that up. Got lucky. It's Toledo able to maintain possession here now, 13 to shoot.
Rollins outside, he'll take a three. And Ryan Rollins, the team leading 18 points. 3 for 3 from downtown.
Fantastic look there off the screen for Milner Jr. Quick set, quick trigger, good.
Fremantle, an air ball trying to answer. And at the under 4 timeout, Xavier trailing by 2. Fremantle with those 4 fouls. A little frustrated with his play today. Been choppy because of those fouls, but Mike looking for it here. Paul Scruggs getting Saunders shimmy off. A little stat recap here for the Musketeers, only shooting 25% from the 3. 5 for 20. 61% from the line, 8 for 13. It was crunch time yesterday for the Musketeers. Xavier was able to come away with the win. And Mike, what do we see here in the final 3:55?
I think Xavier committing to hopefully stay inside. Now, Zach Fremantle came back into the game. Once he played maybe about 10, 11 minutes so far today, his first shot was a 3. We don't want that from Zach Fremantle just coming into the game. Get yourself back into the flow. Get a little sweat build up before you go launch the long shot. Get your energy back. Get your energy up to playing level. And I think if Xavier can commit to staying inside, going in there, trying to create some opportunities on the baseline, it's been tough for them down there. They're either going to draw the contact to be able to convert from the free throw line or, again, come up with opportunities for three-point plays. For Toledo, the spacing's been pretty good, but Xavier's now been able to clog the passing lanes on the last couple of possessions. We just saw Marianne Jackson throw one over to the sideline, a little bit of a desperation when he was in traffic. So we'll see if Toledo can rely on its veteran presence with a little better ball movement. We saw some great ball movement early in the first half that opened up some threes on the wings, and the Musketeers were unable to over-rotate and get out there and contest those threes. We'll see if Toledo gets back to that.
Foul trouble for both teams is negligible. Littleson with 4 fouls after a 24-point performance yesterday for the Rockets. He only has 4 points today. Zach Fremantle, he started the season, Mike, 4 for 6 from 3. Can definitely fill it up from deep, but he's 0 for 3 today with 4 fouls, including that 1 technical.
And again, he hasn't had a whole lot of chance to build the rhythm.
Toledo basketball out of the timeout. Xavier trailing by 2 with 3:55 left.
That was our last media timeout, Paul. So Toledo with 3 timeouts remaining, Xavier with 2. Both teams will be at the free throw line on fouls.
Marianne Jackson to Rollins, and lethal from 3. Jackson dishing it off underneath. Unable to finish was Kamagoon.
Beautiful vision inside there for Jackson, and didn't get help from Kamagoon on the layup. Get a good look there at Marianne Jackson.
Kamagoon, the only Rocket on the court right now that has not scored. Baseline, finding Tandy for 3. Yes, sir! Kiki Tandy, the lead for Xavier.
Big time look, and that was a drive to the baseline. That's a signature Xavier set. Swing it over into the corner. Tandy with plenty of room, plenty of time to set up and drill that one.
Jackson outside with Odom on him down the lane, and Odom swats it away. Odom fired up there, using a left hand to send that one back to where the Xavier band would normally be.
We've seen his athleticism throughout these 2 games. A couple of breakaway jams, and now a big sweeper on the baseline on the best scorer for Toledo.
Defend without fouling. Rollins again contested, and And there is the foul this time from Nate Johnson. That's his second foul.
So Toledo now playing to the drive. 75% from the line today, 15 of 20. So they're confident they can go and convert some of these opportunities.
Friendly roll for Ryan Rollins. Has 18 points. Make it 19 now after the free throw. And there's 20 to lead this team. Kiki Tandy on the other side for Xavier. 20 points for Tandy on 6 for 16 shooting. Odom outside. Here's Fremantle for three. Off the right side of the rim. Scramble for the rebound. Tandy again. Odom, kick out. Scruggs trying to navigate through the pressure. Scruggs underneath. Reverse for two. Back and forth we go.
Scruggs able to use his length there. Spencer Littleson was left all alone on the baseline there to try to guard him. Littleson's in there at 6'4", but Scruggs, a better athlete again with that long range, able just to lay that in.
A jump ball, I believe the possession arrow favors the Musketeers. It does. And Scruggs a little slow to get up, but that's Ryan Rollins on the court for Toledo on that collision.
And that's a big time loss here if Ryan Rollins can't continue. He is having a tremendous day. A 20-point effort now, 7 of 14.
Right there in front of you guys. Go the other way. Right.
Everybody flying to the floor after that loose ball, and Rollins picked up a little extra contact there. So training staff out to attend to him as he lies face down there near midcourt.
66-65, a 1-point Xavier lead. There have been 9 lead changes in this game. Toledo has led for 31 and a half minutes. Xavier has led for only 4:17.
They're going to give Rollins every opportunity here to collect himself, but now they're going to turn him over, and always precautionary here.
Xavier's training staff, a fluker out there as well. Rollins leading this team with 20 points, 3 for 3 from 3, 3 for 5 from the free throw line, 7 for 14 overall from the field, has 5 rebounds, and has been a star for Toledo this afternoon. As you can see here on the replay, Rollins going in and might have caught that left foot on the collision. Believe that was DeJuan Odom. Rollins dove for it. Now he's sitting up. You can see the left side of his head getting some attention.
Yeah, that's just some solid contact there and a run of play. Rollins got the worst end of that. Look, he's pretty shaken up. You see a little redness above the eye, on the forehead there. And it's the first concern, one, in those situations, neck injury. Second, the concussion protocol, and it's been so well attended to here in recent years, such a concentration on that they err on the side of caution. They don't move anybody until they're sure it's not heavy damage. So you look there, and he's already got a bruise on one side of the forehead and a little bit of floor burn on the other. A great effort there to get after that loose ball. But Rollins going to sit now with 20 points. A tough break for Toledo now, who steps into that role. As Toledo gets down here to the final 2.
Just over 2 minutes remaining. Odom, left side of the lane, corner. Johnson faked it. Got him some space, a floater way short. Poked away, but it'll go to Toledo. Amagoon.
All right, good look there again for the Musketeers, and again driving inside, creating in the lane, just comes up short.
Now here's Marianne Jackson and this Toledo team. They've had the lead for over 31 minutes in this game, but they do not lead right now. What can they cook up on this possession? It's Jackson to the lane, and he doesn't get that friendly roll that has been friendly to Toledo today. Jackson, the senior leader on this team, trying to will this Rocket squad to a win. Xavier trying to fend them off. It's Tandy down the lane, and the game's leading scorer adds to his total. 22 now for the sophomore.
Patience and vision there for Kiki Tandy as he saw the lane, knew he had a good opportunity, kept himself under control, lays it in, and the Musketeers now with a 3-point advantage. Timeout here for Toledo.
Todd Kowalczyk calls a full timeout. The Rockets have to talk it over as Mike Tandy right down the lane.
Kiki Tandy, drive, deliver. Musketeers by 3.
Back at the Cintas Center, Xavier with a 3-point edge right now. Toledo with the basketball. That was a Toledo timeout. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Xavier in the double bonus will shoot 2 free throws the rest of the way. Toledo in the bonus. Drive to the hoop. Fremantle with those 4 fouls secures the board, and now Xavier content to take some time.
Sometimes that's all you need, Paul, just enough physical presence inside to throw off the shot. And now Travis Steele going to take a timeout here to reset the Musketeers.
30.
Good call. Musketeers will have 1 left. Toledo will have 2 left to call.
30-second timeout for the Musketeers. We saw yesterday in crunch time it was DeJuan Odom. Took maybe a ill-advised shot on the possession before his game-saving, game-winning layup drive with less than 5 seconds left.
So 3 games into this season for both teams, and they've both been in this situation already here in the last 3 days, both against the Bradley Braves. Toledo nipped at the end on a layup, and the Musketeers hang on yesterday.
Career high 22 points for Kiki Tandy. Tied his career high 2 days ago against Oakland with 18. Has shattered that here with 22 against Toledo.
Paul Scruggs today with 7 assists for the Musketeers, standing out on the scoring sheet. He's got 11, 5 and 9, so a fairly efficient day for him. And again, Scruggs has not looked all that comfortable at times this afternoon.
Xavier gets it in. 15 on the shot clock.
So Toledo now committed straight up man, and they're pushing. Xavier spreads the floor here for Tandy.
Tandy. They'll go to the line for 2. Foul on that shot.
So Toledo now knows that Xavier's going to give the ball to Kiki Tandy in crunch time.
Marianne
That's the way
Jackson.
they ended the end of the first half, and then they come back here. Musketeers need a bucket here to extend, and Tandy's going to be their guy.
Here comes the first free throw from Tandy. And it's good. Marianne Jackson, his 3rd foul. 61 seconds left. Tandy gets them both. 2 huge free throws from the sophomore. Xavier fans on their feet now at the Cintas Center. A 6-0 run for the Musketeers to propel them to this 5-point lead. Toledo 0 for their last 4 from the field, 1 for their last 7. Have not scored from the field in almost 3.5 minutes. Down the lane and a foul. We'll send Milner Jr. to the line. Paul Scruggs picking up his 4th foul.
All right, so let's turn it into a free throw contest on both sides. Toledo's going to give the ball to Milner. He's 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Jackson's 5 of 5 at the stripe for Toledo. Tandy on the other end for Xavier, 7 of 9. So if those have the ball, either of those 3 players have the ball, you're going to make the choice to foul. You got to expect that they're going to be able to deliver. So you want to foul judiciously.
First one good for Milner Jr. Has 16 points now, Mike, to go along with 15 rebounds, a double-double for the junior. Down to a one-possession game after the free throws. Full court pressure from the Rockets.
So we saw a little full court yesterday from Toledo, but right at the end of the game. Now, 3rd game in 3 days. How much energy does Toledo have to expend here on this defensive stand?
No need to foul if you're the Rockets. One possession game, plenty of time on the clock. Scruggs, the senior, going to work on Kamagoo. Fading away, and the senior does what the senior needs to do in that situation. Stretch it out to a 2-possession lead.
Shot clock off. Toledo has 2 timeouts.
Timeout taken.
Oh, and Jackson hit the 3. So that shot went off after the whistle. Todd Kowalczyk called the timeout, and sort of bite your tongue there if you're a Toledo Rockets fan, because Jackson laced that up. How about Paul Scruggs? Little step back, soft touch off the rim. Musketeers up 5.
Yeah, Scruggs knew that he had the mismatch there, could get Kamagoom off his feet. Went one way, backed them down, then faded away for 2, and Scruggs now up to 13, one of 2 Musketeers in double figures. Tandy leading the way with 24, but Scruggs with 13 to go along with 6 rebounds and 7 assists.
There's the difference as well between Kamagoom and Zach Fremantle. Zach Fremantle probably out quicker on that shot on Paul Scruggs if he's defending a Toledo shooter. Kamagoom, while he's got the length, he's got the ability, just doesn't have that first quick step. Scruggs recognized that, able to keep himself under control and knock down that big bucket.
"20 seconds to go. Saunders outside. Toledo's got to go quick. They're down by 5. Here's a long 3 from Jackson, and he hits. Hit that one before the timeout, but it was waved off because of the timeout. Now brings the Rockets within 2. Throw across the court. There's 6 seconds left, and a foul. Scruggs will go to the line. A lot of time came off the clock there.
Well, full court pressure there for Toledo, and they had Johnson in trouble down there in the corner, so you didn't want to foul right away. You want to see if you could force Johnson into making that turnover. Johnson able to throw out of it, and then Toledo fouls at midcourt. But you found Paul Scruggs, which is not a bad choice. 0 for 2 from the line today.
Scruggs with a chance to stretch it to a 2-possession lead. He makes the first.
Scruggs for the season was 50% to start the day at the line, 4 of 8.
5.7 to go. Scruggs hits the second.
4 big points from Paul Scruggs here in the closing moments. Xavier relying on its senior to make some plays, and he's delivering.
And Mike, this is Xavier's largest lead. 4 points for Xavier.
Musketeers have led for 6 minutes and 34 seconds today. 9 lead changes so far between these 2 teams. 4 ties, but still 5.7 to go.
Xavier's largest lead at 5, 1 short of that here, but Toledo on the other side at one point in the first half led by 12, Mike.
Lots of Musketeers coming out of the gate struggling from the floor. Xavier's cleaned that up here in the second half.
4 fouls each on Fremantle and Scruggs. 4 fouls for Toledo on Littleson and Kamagoom. Saunders with 2, Jackson with 3. 5.7 left. Toledo has to go fast. Inbound to Jackson. To midcourt, he'll take the 3, and he banks it home. It's a 1-point game with 1.2 left.
Musketeers have the timeout.
Xavier gets it in, and Johnson fouled with .7 left.
Smart foul there for the Rockets. Johnson hasn't been to the free throw line yet in this game. And he hasn't made a free throw attempt through the 3 games here so far this season. So here's the test. 0.7 seconds. That look familiar? We've seen it 3 times so far in this Xavier Invitational. Been some great competition throughout.
First free throw, good for Johnson. Steps to the line like he's been there 30 times today on his first attempt. And here's his second. Makes it a 3-point game. 0.7 of a second remaining. Inbound, it's poked away, and Xavier wins it 73-70. They start the season 3-0.
Solid job by the Musketeers down the stretch. Able to make some nice decisions, able to find their playmakers, give it to the veterans, let them bring you home, and Paul Scruggs delivered for the Musketeers in the final moments. Huge day for Kiki Tandy, 24 points on 7 of 17, 7 of 9 at the line, 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Scruggs with 15. Musketeers ended the day shooting 43% from the floor, and they ward off a pretty good, talented Toledo team. 3 in double figures for them. 20 for Rollins, 19 for Jackson, 17 for Milner.
Kiki Tandy, 24 points, Paul Scruggs, 15. But for our entire crew here at the Cintas Center, Chris Schaff, Dave Overbeck in the production room, and everybody else that made this broadcast possible, that's Mike Schmaltz to my left. I'm Paul Fritschner saying so long. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Xavier comes away with a 76-73 victory and moves to 3-0 on the season. So long, everybody.